Dear Diary, after a good night's rest, I finally thought up a solution to the ladder puzzle that had been haunting my mind all this time. I ran to the glorified dumbwaiter and rode it all the way to the basement before climbing out under the roof. Miraculously, I was at ground level. If I fell from this height, the worst I could do is break my nose, and after what happened last time, calling what I have a nose is just a formality. The majestic wall protrusions were within easy reach, so I leapt upon them and climbed like my life depended on it. Knowing the ice creature's affability with his death traps, it very well might have. The ladder led to an open air duct, which in turn led to that one locked room that had all the books in it. But hark, the herald doors are singing. I rushed back to the safety of my tiny metal hold just in time to see the goblin come in. He was searching for small animals amongst the books to satiate his dogged thirst for the blood of cute things. He didn't find anything and left frustrated, mumbling about having to kill another squid or something. He was walking away and I couldn't quite make out the last word. Whatever the case, it didn't concern me, so I started investigating the library. There wasn't all that much to see, just some old history books, paintings of dead people, a sextant hidden in the mantel, and a secret room filled with dead insects pegged to the wall. The only interesting thing I found was an abnormally large key inside of an abnormally small candle. The effort it took to find the key was disproportionate to the incredible amount of effort it must have taken to put it there in the first place. Something tells me I would have liked this chocolate milk guy. The only other interesting thing I found in the room was a few scrapbooks pertaining to our dear friend the Goblin King. Evidently he was the saturated fat peddler's adopted son. He's lucky he was never caught. Siring a goblin has been a capital offense ever since the 1859 decree by the Yellow Court. There wasn't anything else to do in the room, so I decided to go for that door at the bottom of the elevator shaft that I saw back during my previous rapid vertical expedition there. The door opened to a needlessly creepy hallway where I faintly heard the sound of sawing. I followed the sound to its source and caught the Iceman red-handed, far more literally than I was expecting. Before I could talk to him, he ran off and left me to clean up his mess. Seeing him down in the basement reminded me that he had a locker that was probably full of loot, so once I was finished eating, I went up to clean his locker out too. Once again, I found the locker with his name on it and entered every 3-digit permutation of numbers I could come up with until the locker creaked open from fatigue. Just then on the top shelf, I saw an expensive-looking blue thing. Then I unsaw it. Someone had hit me over the head with a particularly hefty length of cast-iron drainage pipe, judging by the shape of the indent it left. The snow abomination called me afterwards and told me never to interfere with his affairs again, lest I have to run down the curtain and join the choir invisible. He also said that I shouldn't look for the medallion in Hogsmooch's room because it's definitely not there. 1 medallion down, 2 to go. These things always come in threes. Once again, I was at a loss for what to do, so I communed with the spirits of the dead to ascertain what this accursed castle wanted me to do next. I managed to get in contact with Marie Antoinette herself, though her spirit was split between two halves that insisted on being called Bess and George, respectively. Crazy gets what crazy wants. This probably isn't canon anyway. They told me I should swaddle myself in deerskin and leave the castle to explore the frozen remains of planet Earth. I went outside and expertly navigated the straight path to the nearby shed. It was full of all manner of blasphemous machinery that would turn the stomachs of lesser men. On a nearby shelf next to the Elmer's glue and under the cardboard box of experimental snakes there was a scrap of newspaper. It described the hobgoblin's criminal hijinks and his quarter-century stay in the Hooskow for pressing cheddar. Nearby there were also some instructions for activating the infernal machines. A tempting curiosity for a teenage gumshoe. The nightmares won't go away. As soon as he detected that the machine was activated, the Caucasian demi-human teleported me to the front desk to interrogate me on what I'd seen. I decided it would be easier for me to just come clean, so I told him everything. Breaking into the library, stealing his possessions, entering the Forbidden Castle underbasement, killing his father, activating the machine, the list went on. He stopped my confession by loudly screeching at me for a prolonged period of time. I eventually wandered off. I'd done enough for the day.